You're in no contact with an avoidant, and the main question that you have is, do they even care? Well, in today's video, I'm going to address that for you. Do avoidants care when you go into no contact? Thank you for sticking around. If this is your first time viewing me, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel by clicking that subscribe button and ringing that bell so you're notified for all the newest coaching content. Before I get into the content, if you want my help personally, the quickest way to get into contact with me is through my website or through my Patreon. All of those links are in the description below. In today's video, I'm going to answer the questions: do avoidants care when you go into no contact? What is the no contact rule? A lot of coaches, a lot of therapists, they all have this different way of viewing a no contact rule, but I believe that it should be called the self-discovery rule, because once you go into not contacting that person, which is essentially what the rule is, you should really be doing work on yourself. You should be trying to figure out, why is it that you have this connection or this attachment to this person, and really dive deep into what you need to change within in order to make yourself more centered and more whole. Because once you give this person this idea that you can't live without them, then they'll start thinking about living without you. You know, that's when they start to realize that, man, I'm this person's whole world. Why do I have this much pressure and this burden of being this person's whole world? Because it's essentially, that's a big responsibility. And you don't want to give anyone that amount of power in your life. The no contact rule is basically a set amount of time that you go without talking to that person. You don't contact them. I feel you shouldn't be checking their social media accounts. You shouldn't be inquiring about them through mutual friends. You shouldn't be asking family members about them, because that's not truly a no contact rule. No contact rule is basically out of sight, out of mind. And like I said before, the self-discovery rule is what I call it. Dive deep into personal development. If you need a counselor, if you need a therapist, if you need to take a cleanse through social media, then you may want to go ahead and do that. But do they care doing no contact? Yes, they do care. Now, unless they fell and bumped their head and got amnesia, then of course they cared about it, especially if your relationship was a substantial amount of time. Now, if it was like a small amount of time and you didn't even really know what their attachment style was because you didn't have enough time to build that rapport, or you didn't even inquire, which a lot of people don't even inquire about, the person's history, what they've been through. So essentially, you didn't even know that person really, if you've been dating someone for a short amount of time. But do they care? Yes, they do. A lot of people on my channel really demonize dismissive avoidant people in particular. And it's because of their way of being able to just go stoic, and just kind of cut you off and go cold. But it's actually a defense mechanism. It's a way for them not to put themselves out there anymore, as far as being vulnerable and just showing you how much power that you have over their life. And this is, from a lot of people I've talked to, this isn't something I'm just making up and just pulling out of nowhere. I'm not talking out of the side of my neck. This is something that I've asked people about. I've inquired about through their journey, people that I've coached. These are things that even after they have broken up with that person that was an avoidant, when they come back to them, they tell them, yes, I did care. I did feel some type of way when you went no contact, but I wasn't going to reach out because I wasn't going to, make myself look silly, because they do have those core wounds of abandonment and rejection. It's not as strong as someone that's an anxious attacher, obviously, but the way that we show up when things started to get a little hectic and things started to get a little overwhelming. I don't care who you are. If you're a secure attacher, there are going to be things that happen or certain events that's going to cause for you to take a step back and reassess things. Now, this isn't something that's exclusive to avoidant people. This is all around. How you proceed after that is the most important part. How are you going to show up after that? So that's a really quick video. I want to answer that question for one of my newsletter subscribers. If you guys are interested in that, go ahead and go to my website at www.fruitfulseeds.com. If you found this video valuable, go ahead and click this link right here, where I talk a little bit more about whether or not avoidants do care. And if you want to follow me on my other social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, it's I am Coach Court. And I want you guys to always remember, when you go be love, you'll never have to find it. Namaste.